Chapter 13. I guess we should go to the first screen. Solutions. We're going to find the answers to all your problems, right? Solutions. We're going to find solutions. No. Chemists use the word solution a little differently. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. So what does homogeneous mean? The same throughout. So a homogeneous mixture means these two or more substances are mixing thoroughly, and it's not like macaroni and cheese where we've got macaroni chunks in the cheese, right? Solutions are very common. Most of the liquids and gases that we encounter every day are actually solutions. So seawater is water, but it's got salt and other solids that are dissolved in it. And you know, if you've been to the ocean, that it is very salty, and it leaves kind of this crusty stuff on your skin afterwards, right, if you don't rinse off. Blood plasma. What is that? Well, if you take the red blood cells out of your blood, what you're left with is a clear liquid. It's got a bit of a color to it, but it's not opaque like blood or milk. It is a solution, and it has several different solids and some gases dissolved in it. It is a solution. Solutions can be composed of a gas and a solid, a liquid and another liquid, a solid and a gas, a solid and a liquid, any combination of the three states of matter. So here's some examples. A gas solution, a gas in a gas. Air is a great example of this. It's mostly oxygen and nitrogen. Liquid solutions, you can have a gas dissolved in a liquid. Soda water. It's carbon dioxide dissolved in water. A liquid in a liquid, vodka. Vodka is a homogeneous mixture of ethanol and water. You can have a solid dissolved in a liquid, like seawater. Or if you put some sugar into water and stir it up, it dissolves and you have a solution, a homogeneous mixture. We can also have mixtures of solids in solids. And this seems a little strange, but this is what alloys are. Brass. You know, you think of a brass doorknob or a brass door knocker or maybe brass knuckles, right? It looks like it is a metal, but brass isn't on the periodic table, is it? Brass is a mixture. It's a mixture mostly of copper and zinc. Okay, but it's a homogeneous mixture. It's the same throughout. Now you can't just take copper and zinc solids and smash them together and make brass out of them. You melt them and mix them that way, and then when they solidify, you have a homogeneous mixture. You can also have gases dissolved in solids, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. So in this solution, we have at least two components because it's a mixture. It has to have at least two different things. So the majority component, the one that there's more of, is usually called the solvent. And the minority component, the one that there's less of, is usually called the solute. What do you think of when you hear the word solvent? Dissolve. I think of cans of paint thinner in the garage. Solvents, industrial solvents, right? Things that dissolve other things. I think of a liquid that's going to dissolve something else. So I don't know if that will help you. You need to be able to identify which is the solvent and which is the solute. The solute is the one that there's less of. It is dissolved in the solvent. Now, we've got a lot of the word usually here. When we have a solid liquid solution, the liquid is usually considered the solvent, regardless of the proportions. So even if there's more solid dissolved in the liquid, we usually call the liquid the solvent. Water is going to be the most common solvent that we're going to run across, and it is the most common solvent on the earth. And when we talk about something that's aqueous, we've seen that word before. Aqueous just means that water is the solvent. It's dissolved in water. We were doing these equations earlier. Here, barium ion, AQ, aqueous, dissolved in water. Water is the solvent. Other solvents are used in the lab, in industry, even at home, especially when you have things, solutes that are nonpolar, because there are some things that will not dissolve in water. Fingernail polish does not dissolve in water, which is a good thing, right? You paint your nails, and then later that day, you're going to have to wash your hands sometime. You don't want the fingernail polish to come off, right? It'd be like using tempera paint to paint your fingernails. It's not going to work very well. Fingernail polish doesn't dissolve in water. So we use other solvents like acetone. Acetone is the main ingredient in fingernail polish remover. It will dissolve the fingernail polish. Let's see, where are we going here? So this is an important idea. Come on, iPad. Well, that's a bad color. Let's do something we can actually see. Like dissolves like. Okay, this is kind of a rule of thumb, I guess you could say. It's something that's usually true, and it just helps us as a guideline. So polar solvents, where's my pointer? There we go. Polar solvents tend to dissolve polar solutes. Nonpolar solvents tend to dissolve nonpolar solutes. Like dissolves like. And here's a list of some common polar solvents. Water, acetone, that's in fingernail polish remover, methyl alcohol, these are all polar solvents. Common nonpolar solvents are things like hexane, diethyl ether, toluene. Turpentine is a nonpolar solvent. Gasoline could be used as a solvent. I guess that's the end of that section.